The content in this magazine could contain references of topics and difficult subject matter that may be triggering. Please honor yourself, inner knowing, and proceed with whatever help or guidance you feel is intuitively aligned. Welcome to Sovereign Magazine Podcast. I'm Nicole George, CEO and founder of Sovereign. I'm so happy you are here. We are the magazine podcast and community guiding 5 million women to their sovereign selves. From heart-led conversations to magical meditations, our inspiring guests will show you how they can help you step into your sovereign self. Are you ready to listen to your inner voice and step into your power? Then keep listening to hear all of the intuitive messages meant for you today. Hello. Today I have the privilege of connecting with Ashlee Tegen, one of our amazing contributors. She is a self-love and relationship coach who helps women break free from people-pleasing, set unapologetic boundaries, and reclaim their power. As the founder of the Transformation Station and the creator of the Emotional Intelligence Academy, she blends 8 healing modalities, including NLP and EFT, to guide women deeply into personal transformation. She is on a huge mission to help women rise with confidence, clarity, and self-worth. Welcome, Ashlee.
Hello, thank you.
I'm so excited for you to be here today because we are talking about clarity amongst chaos, which is our August new moon theme. And your article, I absolutely love because it's called The Power of Choosing Differently. And you really open up candidly about how chaos was your normal, which isn't it all for all of us, right? But it's something that you didn't even question until your life forced you to, which I can definitely identify with. And you started to battle with an eating disorder, your marriage was struggling, and you felt completely disconnected from the woman and mother you really desired to be. And you hit rock bottom. And that's when everything kind of started to shift for you. And so, for those who haven't had the chance to read your article yet, perhaps you can give them a little bit of insight into this story.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was beautiful. So, as you said, chaos was my normal, and I didn't think anything of it until, like you said, I hit my rock bottom and I felt like I couldn't go on any longer. And I reached out to a therapist who actually got me in touch with podcasts. I had never listened to podcasts before, and I found this one, and she was so amazing. She just spoke to my soul. She taught me all these different things that I had never even thought twice about. And what it boiled down to was me connecting with myself, learning how to understand what my own body was telling me through my emotions and my triggers and, understanding my ego. And once I started my deep dive into that, my journey flourished. I was able to work through that eating disorder. I was able to have healthy communication with my husband, and so our marriage started getting better. And I had more patience with my kids, which all of us want more patience, especially if you are a parent. But yeah, and so I started going through this whole personal transformation, and it really changed my relationships with everyone around me, but mostly the relationship with myself. I was able to feel whole and confident and secure and be able to speak my needs. And before I did all this work, I didn't even realize I had needs. My needs were always put on the back burner because I was a wife and I was a mother, which caused so much resentment. And I didn't even understand what resentment really was at that time. I just knew I was mad and I was unhappy. So I figured out what my needs were. I learned how to communicate in ways that really were very easily understandable from my husband, from my kids. And yeah, just starting that, it really changed my life. And I found this desire to want to help other women who were struggling with the same things that I was. That is my mission now. That is my purpose, is to help guide other women back to themselves, back to their wholeness, and find their power.
I'm going to guide us into our steps to our sovereign self segment earlier than I normally would because I know everything you want to share today to show our audience how they can get out of this fog. And if they are in this fog and they really want to truly live a life where they're authentically living who they are, or embodying, I should say, who they are. And just you talked about being comfortable in your body again, and I can definitely identify with that. You know, when we're on autopilot and not truly living, or we're living in ego and fear and all of these types of things, we're very disconnected from our body. And so Ashley is going to take you through some of the things that not only helped her, but help her clients as well to ground themselves in their body, to explain to you what emotional intelligence is and the difference between emotions and feelings and ego and fear and all of this. So, we're moving into our segment early so that she can do all of these things and then end with giving you some emotional release tools as well. And I wanted to provide enough time for all of that. So, go ahead and take it away, Ashley.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we are going to go into a grounding session right now just so we can relax and let the stress of life fade away for a minute. Want you to really try and connect with your body during this time. So, if it feels good for you and if you are somewhere safe, I would love it if you would start by closing your eyes. I want you to take a deep breath all the way into your stomach. And as you release that breath, I want you to release any tension that you might be holding. With each full belly breath, let's begin relaxing your body. We're going to start with the top of your head. Relax your forehead and your eyebrows. I want you to relax your jaw. Let your tongue fall from the roof of your mouth. Relax your neck and shoulders. Relax your upper back and your chest. Then your lower back and abdomen. Relax your hips and your upper thighs. Then your knees. Relax your shins and your calves. Then your ankles and feet. I want you to notice the way your feet are resting on the ground, the way the ground is holding your weight. Repeat in your mind, the ground is strong and resilient, and so am I. As you take another deep breath, imagine a bright golden light flowing up from the ground into your feet. As that glowing light travels up with each breath, allow it to release any tightness that you may still be holding on to. Allow your breath to move that golden light up through your ankles, into your shins and calves. Breathe it into your knees and thighs. Allow it to flow into your hips, and let that light circle there for a moment. We tend to hold so much stress and trauma there. Now let it move to your lower back and your abdomen. Next to your chest and upper back. Then to your shoulders and your neck. Let the golden light travel to your head. And when you've reached that point, repeat this in your mind. I am strong and I am enough. When it feels good for you, open your eyes and bring your attention back to the room.
That feels so grounding. Okay, so what do we have next for everyone? Perhaps we can define a little bit more about what emotional intelligence is now that we're in our bodies and understand more of what we can do next to not feel that fogginess that we were talking about of being disconnected from our body.
Yeah. Yeah. So emotional intelligence is really the ability to understand and manage your own emotions while also navigating the emotions of those around you. And honestly, this is one of the most essential skills that you can learn in this life. For me, I have created 3 pillars of emotional intelligence, and the first one is self awareness. This is your foundation. It's knowing what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, and how it affects your thoughts and actions. Without it, you're like a ship without a compass, right? You're reactive and not intentional. So, being able to cultivate this is often checking in with yourself regularly. Pause during the day and maybe ask yourself, okay, what am I feeling right now? A lot of times when I ask my clients, okay, what are you feeling in your body? They respond with something like stress or I'm feeling anxiety, which is most definitely true. But when you notice that emotion, because stress and anxiety is an emotion, I want you to notice the sensations. What are the feelings that are in your body? When you're anxious, are you feeling a tightness in your belly or maybe in your shoulders? Are you clenching your jaw and noticing, that tension there? And so this is why it's important for me to have my clients drop into their bodies so that they can tell me the sensations with each emotion and where it is coming up for them. So then, pillar 2 of emotional intelligence is self regulation. And this is the difference between reacting like a toddler and responding like an adult, right? It's not about suppressing your emotions, but it's about managing them so that they don't manage you. And I teach my clients, yeah, I'm going to tell you guys. I teach my clients the pause technique. And seriously, I use this all the time. So the word pause, Pause, literally tells you what to do, right? So the P stands for pause before reacting. A is assess what's triggering you, what is happening, why are you feeling what you're feeling. The U is use your breath. Breathe through it before you say anything. Just take a few breaths. It helps so much. The S is sense your sensations. These sensations might be shaking hands or tightness of your chest, shortness of breath. And then E stands for examine what you need to feel better. Do I need to shake my body? Do I need to remove myself from the situation for a few minutes? So, anytime you're feeling reactive or triggered, use that pause technique. Put it in the back of your mind. My 8-year-old daughter loves it. She gets frustrated. She loves golf. And so, if anybody has ever golfed before, that can be a very frustrating game. And so she just tells me, Mom, I just need to pause for a minute. And it's so cool to be able to see my kids using these same techniques that I use. And it's really so simple if you can remember to do it. And then social awareness is the last pillar. And this is where you can understand the emotions of others, what they're feeling, even if they're not saying it. And it's really about empathy and connection. when you are feeling connected to somebody, it's because your social awareness is on point, right? And so this is where you are paying attention to nonverbal cues and asking somebody instead of just assuming. If they seem like they're in a bad mood, maybe ask them. Don't just assume they're in a bad mood and shut down because you're feeling triggered, right? Yeah, so those are my 3 pillars that I love to get into. And we love to just go into shadows and our ego and being able to name what a shadow is. So, in the world of emotional intelligence and personal growth, shadows are those parts of yourself that you try to hide, deny, or shame. And they can be positive traits or negative traits, right? Think of your shadows as the stuff that you've shoved into a metaphorical closet because you think it's too much or not enough. And shadows come from experiences where you were made to feel like certain traits or behaviors were undesirable. If you were young and you were told that you're so sensitive, then you learn to hide your emotions throughout your life and as an adult. And being able to really be in control of your ego is a game changer. Our ego is like our mind's personal bodyguard, and its main job is to protect your sense of identity or self-worth. So this is what helps keep those shadows in the dark, because your ego has deemed the fact that maybe you're so sensitive as unsafe, and you're not going to be able to get love and affection and connection from that. So yeah, our ego's purpose is survival. It just wants us to survive. And when you understand the purpose and why our ego does what it does, it's so much easier to not let it take control.
Yes. Oh my gosh. For the women out there today who are ready to be brave, to start to do all this work and in defining who you truly are amongst all the chaos, Ashlee has endless amounts of resources for you in our community, community.sovereign-magazine.com. All of her details are in the show notes. And guess what? She's going to be back for more. So she's going to, I know, so excited. You're going to be hearing more from her in the future. So don't you worry. We're always going to be able to connect with her and hear more from her. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me here. I've had so much fun.
Me too. All right. See you on the next one. Thanks for listening. I'll be back tomorrow with another soul-led entrepreneur here to help you step into your sovereign self. Subscribe to our magazine and podcast and join our global community for all the magic. Details to connect with today's guest or join the movement are in the show notes. And if you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review. It helps us reach our goal of guiding 5 million women to self-sovereignty.